We're going to have a short recap of the first 5 skills: kindness, awareness, patience, attention to detail, and seeing what needs to be done and doing it. Good skills, aren't they? You know, some of you already know them. Some of you are exercising them better than others. All of you recognize that now that you're pregnant, they hold a different meaning, and that's important. Pregnancy is a period of time that's that long. Birth is a period of time that's that long. Being a parent is a period of time, often, that exists until you or your child dies. Knowing more about kindness to yourself, to your baby's father, to your child is important. Becoming aware to all 3 of you is important. To becoming more patient, that's important. Being able to pay attention to detail will have shifted. It will shift again. And that's important. You can embrace that change. You don't want to stay static in life. You become old if you do. You're always changing. And that's what gives you life and gives you the enjoyment of life if you permit yourself to have that enjoyment. So paying attention to details for some people is obsessive compulsive behavior. For others, it's hard to pay attention to too many details. But somewhere you grow those things, and you grow them from the moment you conceive onward through pregnancy, through the gateway of giving birth, and through your years of parenting. They will change, have different meanings. And this is true for the last of the 5 skills, seeing what needs to be done and doing it. And just remember, that's a deal breaker, and it's really important that you work through these things. So let me tell you a little story about compromise. It happened in a friend of mine's life. She was with a partner, and they had been together for a number of years. And her partner said to her one day, "I want to be out of the relationship because I feel like I have compromised myself to you too much." Well, the woman was astounded, first of all, but she also realized that they should have another person talk to them. So they invited a mutual friend. It was a guy. That didn't matter. It's just a mutual friend. So they sat down. They knew exactly what they were doing, which was to talk about this man's feelings about having compromised himself. So the third party, this other guy, said to him, what's your definition of compromise? And the guy said, well, it's I give up something one time and then she gives up something another time. To which both of us turned around and went, ooh, okay. But that third guy said, that's not my definition of compromise. Well, gee, where to start? So both of us looked at him and said, what's your definition of compromise? And he said, my definition is that we both give up something at the same time. Oh, wow. So this woman looked at these 2 guys and said, that's not my understanding of compromise. To which they said, well, that's obvious. What do you mean by compromise? And she said, what I mean by compromise is that we find a solution in which we both agree. And this is very important for you to understand when it comes to clarity. These 2 guys aren't wrong. It's very common for people to consider the word compromise to be, I give up something now, you give it up next time, or we both give something up. Less frequently, people look for a solution that works for both people. However, those 2 other compromises breeds resentment. And we have clarity around that resentment. And it's important for us to understand that we have the capacity to find solutions that work for both of us, even for small, picky little things. And how do we know that? We know that because of a story about Edison and about a story about a cat. The story about Edison is it took him 5,001 ways to make electricity. And the story about the cat is that there are 1,001 ways to skin a cat. So if you think compromising is your best clear solution, you will breed resentment in your family. If you think finding solutions can somehow be found in 1,001 ways or 5,001 ways, you are on a pathway in life in which clarity really is going to bring you infinitely more joy than looking at clarity from the viewpoint of feeling resentment.